On a Thursday morning, I finished a talk, walked off stage, and took a call from my doctor. With that call, an ancillary characteristic of me became my focal point for the next 4 months. Because my cancer was diagnosed early, I had all sorts of options. I was able to schedule my surgery 6 weeks out after an event I was planning. I chose a double mastectomy because the most important thing for me was event-free survival. The pathology that came back told me there was nothing in my lymph nodes except tattoo ink. I needed no chemo, I needed no radiation. But what I want to talk about here is the single most asked question that I heard leading up to and after my surgery. Are you having an identity crisis? No, I'm not having an identity crisis. But this presumes a lot to me about and how we value women in society. No one asked me if I had an identity crisis when I had my appendix out or I broke my foot. I am someone who identifies with what I do. I work, I support friends, I support my partner. I want to be engaged with communities. I want to participate in the world. But I had to take these areas where I expected to be valued for my contribution and talk to them about my secondary sexual characteristics. How would I actually know if I was having an identity crisis at this point? After my surgery, I went back to work after 3 weeks. After 4 weeks, I was traveling again, and I was happier with my shape than I was before the surgery. But I had no stamina. I had no ability to answer emails. I had the attention span of a single crossword puzzle clue. If I can't write an articulate sentence, or I'm 3,000 emails behind, and yes, that's true, am I more? Am I less? How am I valued? Crap, I am having an identity crisis. With my internal cues failing, I looked to the societal cues, but those are worse. I'm not my wallet, I'm not my shape, I'm not my accomplishments. I had to find a better way to measure this. The media and peer groups tell me the same sort of thing. I hear in advertising that I should buy something to be smarter or faster or prettier or better. I imagine most of you have at some point or another felt like an imposter in this world. But when you hear that amplified by society telling you you are not good enough without this other thing, and people ask you, are you having an identity crisis? I hear those fears manifest in the conversations, the fears that our friends, find themselves valued by something that's outside of their control. So I was challenged by this question, are you having an identity crisis? And I've had a very long time to decide what I valued in myself. What are we teaching our children, the younger people around us? How can we keep these fears, this inability to identify our own cores and be swayed by the media, how can we keep this from them? What are we teaching them now? In January of 2015, I saw my world changing back to normal. My stamina returned. I could stay up past 6 p.m. And I found myself engaging again, but I was still struggling with this question. My stepfather summarized it best for me. He said, we are human beings, not human doings. I am still prone to overcommitment, but now I try to respect myself and value myself for my being, even as what I can do changes. Thank you.